Well, hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Robot Spirits RGM-79D GM Cold District type for anime. This is an awesome looking GM from Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket. Just an awesome iteration of the lovely GM that we all are very familiar with, but with some cool modern upgrades. All right, and here we go. Here's a look at the box, completely cardboard, no plastic. Really cool look here. It kind of mimics what we see in 0080. I really like the look at that, the poses. It comes with stickers. That's really neat. And obviously you can use effect parts with it. Let's see how many it actually comes with. But I mean, this is a really cool looking design. All right, and getting it out of the box, here we go. All right, and first of all, we get the mobile suit itself, which looks great because, you know, it looks like a GM, but just with some modern designs on it. Modern from, you know, late 80s, but it still looks great today. Yeah, by default, it has some real type markings here, there on the shoulder. Again, it helps give it a more grounded look, especially with something as simple as that little, you know, detail on the shoulder there. Just the little details, the vents around this just make this look like an awesome, modern, and maybe grounded and realistic giant walking mech that's like the backbone of the army, even though I don't think this was as mass-produced as a standard GM. All right, and looking at the articulation on this, it's a lot of what you would see normally, but because it doesn't have a lot of extra, like, crazy sculpt going on, I think this allows it to be, like, fully articulated. If we look at the back of the head here, that looks pretty interesting, but it looks like it's part of the articulation so that you can get a really high look up, which is great. Let's see if we're going to do some space posing. I mean, it does that well. So that is a neat, really neat part of the engineering there, is to have that as a separate piece. And then looking down, I would say that's not crazy, but it's good enough. I guess if he was going to really look down, maybe to tie his shoes, he would then bend over. All right, arms do as you'd expect. You know, with nice elbow. It doesn't go all the way, but the movement in the wrist allows that to go all the way up. I really like that look. It's more realistic to, I guess, a human soldier if they were to be moving around. And what's neat is the articulation here in the forearm, because even as you go to bend the forearm, you can see where it tucks in or hides the other piece of it. So it's almost like that the sculpted joint here at the elbow doesn't really articulate. It's more the forearm, and that's just there for show, but it articulates well. So this is like the best when it comes to the articulation for these. All right, so we could get, yeah, a lot of movement in the waist. That's not an issue. Again, this isn't a crazy design mobile suit, so it doesn't have all that crazy stuff going on. The skirts move as they should. There's even a little spot in there that blocks the skirt from being pushed in too much. A neat little thing. And then what we'd expect out of leg articulation, it does have, you know, the spot in there that it turns to allow you to drop the leg down if you need. I don't know if I can get a good shot in that there, but yeah. And then you can move it back if needed. And then the rest of the bottom half, yeah, that's good articulation there. Toes, nothing crazy, but just enough to add some additional support if needed. So honestly, when it comes to articulation, there's nothing stopping this. I think because of its design, it really allows it to go all out if needed. Now back to some of the accessories this came with. It has a standard shield that we would see, Federation sticker on it, so it looks fantastic. Yeah, just what you expect. We got the beam saber blades here, the beam saber itself. We've got one of the, I think the bullpup gun right here, which is kind of standard that we see with some the later GMs. And also this gun right here, this really cool looking gun here that, you know, we don't get a lot from the Robot Spirits, but it's nice to have it here. There's a lot going on with this that's awesome. Not only does it look cool for the GM to be holding, but you can remove the magazine, which is a nice little touch, but also this underbarrel here. So you can actually take off this piece here, and then this comes with an additional piece that you'd put underneath here. There we go. And that, yeah, it does some more, which looks really good. So yeah, I got to say this is an awesome addition to this. So it's cool because along with all the guns, we get all these different attachment pieces, which is really nice. This kind of helps you kind of like fully deck out your robot if you wanted to, which is really neat. What helps is this little port on the back that you can open up, put one of these into for storing one weapon, holding one weapon, and then holding a shield, and then even holding a beam saber. So you can actually have this decked out holding everything, and it looks really cool. And along with it decked out, what's cool about this GM is the antenna on the back. Again, it adds some more extra badass looks to it. And luckily, they come with an extra one just in case you lose it, because of course that's going to happen. And as always, we get a fun mix of hands. We've kind of got this open hand, but along with that is this other open that's more of like a dynamic, almost pointing look. I mean, either one of these could be used to hold the underbarrel of a gun or two-handed gun, but also for some other poses of jumping around or flying. And when it comes to effect parts, borrowing these from another one, 08 MS Team Zaku, and yeah, it fits in perfectly, works as intended. Same with the jetpack. And I love on this mobile suit, this GM, how it has like the 4 thrusters on the back. So you could really like fill that out and it'll look really cool. I mean, especially if you were to do the 4 also on the feet, that would look really awesome. Looking at the instruction manual real quick, see if I actually missed anything. Yeah, just kind of showing the basics here. I'm showing that articulation in the head, which is very well done. Yeah, the hand tree for the hands. How to hold the weapon, if you're curious about that, different shield stuff. Oh, even where you could put that optional part right there. And yeah, oh, even holding a rocket. That would be cool to deck it out with a rocket. And even additional points on the backpack to actually, so there'd be 2 points on either side and on the middle for like the shield to hold stuff. So you can really deck this guy out. All right, here, this is decked out. Got the explosion effect part here on the shield. The machine gun effect part there on the gun. We've got all of these booster thruster effect parts and the gun storage here. Also note that point here on the back where you can add storage, it's only on this side, not on the other side, which is fine because that's still a whole lot you can have this thing hold. I mean, putting this thing out in battle, posing it, I mean, it does everything you would want. And actually, when putting these thruster parts on, here's one with some added articulation. This, I want to say, came from, it's one of the 08 MS Team ones, but I guess this little joint on the back, it's not as sturdy as the other one, so it tends to fall out, so this might not work best, but I think you can also change those out if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, there are a number of different thruster types that exist. Another interesting part that I gotta get to eventually are these decals. I like how we've got a bunch of different numbers and you can't really see underneath, but we have them in white as well. But also just some points where it looks like it's blood. Because in War in the Pocket, they really did a good job of making the mobile suits fight and feel like things that were humans actually getting attacked. So I like that you can add that in, and then just some other scorch marks, battle damage, bullet holes. I might go through and add some. Because I did buy 2 of these things. They were on sale on Amazon for about $50, and yeah, that's a lot to pay for something, but this is incredibly high end. I love all the accessories it comes with and everything you can do with it. And it's an army builder, so totally worth it. All right, there you go. A look at the GM Cold District type Robot Spirits figure. This is an awesome figure. Curious to see what you think. Let me know below what you think. If you have any of these GM Robot Spirits, I mean, just being a GM collector, this has to be on your list, even if you only build Gunpla. Let me know about that too. Thanks to the supporters, and for everyone, subscribe, like this video if you haven't. It helps me out a whole lot. And check the links in the description for our Discord. We have a lot of fun there. But until next time, we'll talk later.